This is Mr. Beck Does Your Homework, AP Physics, Homework 6.3, question number 2 and 3. A railroad car of mass 23,900 kilograms moving at 3.55 meters per second, so that would be here, of 23,900 moving at 3.55 meters per second, collides and couples with two coupled railroad cars, each of the same mass as the single car and moving in the same direction at 1.67 meters per second. So I've got two cars here that are already coupled. Each one is 23,900, and those are moving at, give me some wheels, at 1.67 meters per second in the same direction. So this is my total momentum beforehand. Afterwards, I've got three railroad cars coupled together, and they're all going to be moving at some combined velocity. So I want my velocity here for all three railroad cars coupled together. So beforehand, I've got the mass of the first car times its velocity, plus the mass of the second two cars, and that's your combined mass, times their velocity. Afterwards, I've got three cars together, so that's going to be the mass of the first plus m2, and I'm considering all of that to be m2, times my new velocity. So actually, I could factor out the m's here in some way because these are 23.9, this is 23.9, so it's going to be 3 times that somewhere in there. But let me do this the right way. So I've got 23,900 times 3.55 plus the mass here is 2 times 23,900 times the velocity here, 1.67, and this is all positive because it's moving in the same direction, equals, this is going to be 23, 23, 23, so it's going to be 3 times 23,900 moving at that new velocity. So I'm going to take all of this, multiply and add, divide by this, 3 times 23,900, and I will get a velocity for those cars moving together. It's going to be positive to the right. How much kinetic energy is lost in the collision? Well, now I need to know how much kinetic energy I had here and how much kinetic energy I have here and subtract them. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to take my KE before and I'm going to subtract my KE after and see how much energy is lost. So that's going to be KE lost. And I know energy is going to be lost because this is an inelastic collision where you're always going to be losing some energy. So beforehand, I've got 1/2 mv squared plus twice 1/2 mv squared. So this is going to be this velocity of 1.67, and I've got two of them moving at that velocity. I could do this in some other way, but this is basically the same thing, and 1/2 mv squared for this one, minus, and now I've got three cars moving at 1/2 mv squared, so I'm going to have minus 3 times 1/2 mv squared, and this v is the v that I solved for here. This m is going to be the mass of one car, so this is going to be 23,900, but I've got three of them moving at this velocity. So I'm going to do that, and when I subtract, I will get some number for how much kinetic energy was lost in joules in this collision.